Hi, my name is Sagal Ismail, and this is the first production vlog that I'll be posting for this channel. As a few of you may know, I have a small side project called Yllista, Blood Rose of Osyra. It's a short story that I penned out somewhere around July 2020, and it has a lot of influences and inspiration, but the main driving force behind it is that I just kind of wanted to have a project to work on. Ideally, I'll post a production vlog every 2 weeks or so, detailing what I did during that time, how it will fit into the greater project overall, and some notes that I learned along the way. I'm an aspiring artist, a aspiring storyboarder and storyteller for hobby. It's not really a common hobby. Usually people who have these kinds of jobs end up doing them as a day job. I don't. It's just a hobby. But it is a hobby I take seriously. Ultimately, Yllista will hopefully be posted here as an animatic, dotted in between all the production vlogs as each section is completed. So, what is the story of Yllista? Well, since this is the first video, I probably have to take you up to speed on the whole story and the world and the background behind it. I promise, most production vlogs won't take this long. It won't be this dense in exposition. It's just since this is the first one, I kind of have to explain everything, so bear with me. The story of Yllista takes place in a historical fantasy setting built upon a world that I started developing back in 2012. This world is called Nim. So there is ample amounts of lore, history, and influences from many different things like Greek mythos, Southeast Asian clothing, Byzantine architecture, video games, movies. It's all over the place. The point is, I built this world so I could facilitate a story on top of it. So let me give you some perspective in this world called Nim and how Yllista fits into this. The continent of Nim is split into many different regions, one of which resides to the east called Aseji. Think of an area with influences from Indonesian culture, Japanese culture, Ottoman, and Nepalese culture. Within that region, Aseji is split into two smaller regions, aptly named North Aseji and South Aseji. Yllista's story is centered around South Aseji, right around the time when the region is rife with conflict between many feudal clans and factions trying to take over the region ever since the governing council left a power gap when it got wiped clean from a coup. Yllista, our protagonist, is a child of clan Osyra, who, up until when the story picks up, has a fairly normal childhood in a small village called Turukinar. I actually wrote a small little splash text exposition when I first posted a few concepts of this on social media, so I'll just read that. As multiple factions struggled to control the region of Aseji, the Arakitej coalition raided the village of Turukinar and nearly slaughtered all of Clan Osyra. Yllista and the last few members of Clan Osyra were dispersed and took refuge in neighboring towns. All the while, the coalition burned Turukinar to the ground and placed bounties on the heads of every living member of her clan. After years of hunting, the Arakitej became the champions of the rebel movement and were appointed as guardians of the southern province of Aseji, made sure that Clan Osyra was erased from history. She still felt the blood of her people burnt into her family sigil. She'll never forget what happened in Turukinar. Why did the Arakitej target Osyra? Why did her people have to be wiped from existence? She set out in search for her last kin, determined to quell the fire scorched unto her from Turukinar and all those who lit it. There was a sinister secret hiding within Aseji. She could feel it. So, skipping forward to when the story actually begins, she is a few years older and wiser, and Yllista starts noticing that some things don't actually add up. Certain events and hardships that she lived through always seem kind of skewed in public perception. It was as if Osyra never existed, while the Arakitej are championed as guardians of the new Aseji order. So she takes it upon herself to search for a deeper conflict, understand why Clan Osyra is being wiped from history, and hopefully have revenge on the people that destroyed her life. Admittedly, I understand that this is a bit of a darker story to work on, but I was particularly compelled for this because of Yllista's strong motivation as a character. So, where am I with this project at the moment? Well, I made a few early rough concepts of Yllista and roughed out a few storyboards back in August for the first scene. I'd like to eventually go back to revise and polish up the boards once I finish drawing the concepts for the pieces, and I also sketched a few revised concept studies of Yllista's character, her face study, how she would look, how she would act and emote, how she fits into the world as far as clothes and culture. That's about it so far. This is pretty early on in the project, and really most of it is just script. You know, it's all writing on the board at the moment. Going forward, I plan on working on isometrics and schematics of the background set pieces for the next few scenes, as well as conceptualizing some of the extra characters in those scenes, like the Treasury Guard. Since this is still pretty early in the pre-production phase, these production vlogs will likely be full of storyboards, concepts, and just plans for what I will be posting on future vlogs. Future videos will probably not be as long as this production vlog, since this one holds a bit of the exposition just to get you up to speed, but I'll let you know how that goes in future production vlogs. Yeah. On another note, I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep this up, depending on how many people interact, but I'd love to hear any feedback on how I can improve on this whole thing between the project as well as the production vlogs. Until then, I look forward to the things to come. Cheers.